Check 1, 2. All right, good morning, Austin, Texas. This is meteorologist Grace Thornton here with your winter weather forecast for honestly all of Texas. We can talk about everything going on for tomorrow right now here on KView Plus. Thanks a lot for joining us this morning. Gonna get this out of the way because we do have a lot to get through for this morning. Let us first talk about current weather conditions outside today. So we are dealing with one more day of very dry weather outside, and you can see behind me we just have a lot of clouds out there. Now on a regular day where we're seeing warmer temperatures, this would be one of those mornings where we see maybe a little bit of fog and some of that drizzle out there. But conversely, because we're seeing colder temperatures today, we actually may have seen a couple of snow showers out there this morning. So I actually want to pull up our radar. Now this is a mix of our satellite and radar. So the satellite is able to see kind of some higher levels of the atmosphere. And in that case, we were seeing the potential for a couple snow showers out there in the hill country this morning. I'll pull this up for you guys. You can see we're already tracking that winter weather out towards El Paso and south of Lubbock there. But if we zoom in onto the hill country here in our area, you'll see, well, there's not much left of what was going on this morning. I can change this though. We'll go for the last, this is accustomed to the last 3 hours. Let's go to the last like 6 hours because of course that was very early on in the morning that we were tracking things. So I'll back it up. There we go. You can see right there. Let's go back up to my camera so I can point to it. Just a couple little spots of that potential for snow. I mean, definitely wasn't hitting the ground. I went out and checked. It was not even really visible, but I think in a couple of places, if you were looking up at the sky at the right time, you would have seen the potential for some of those snow flurries out there. So that's the exciting part of the winter weather, but now we have to talk about the non-exciting parts of the winter weather because we are expecting a lot of touch and go forecasting throughout Texas for our Thursday. So let's head into, actually we can just draw this out just a little bit. Let's head into what we are expected to see over the next 24 hours, at least for the whole of Texas, kind of get a bigger picture of what's going on because it is going to be quite a day tomorrow. Now, this all is going to start very early on tomorrow morning, even portions of tonight for some of Texas. Sorry, I'm backing this up and, you know, kind of just getting this ready for you guys. So here's a look at 5:30 tomorrow morning. As you can see here in Austin, we're not looking at much. I think most of our weather is going to start a little bit later on Thursday morning. So starting at about 5 a.m., we're going to start watching the radar for the potential for some showers as well as out towards the hill country. Of course, you can see that line where there is a mix of winter precipitation. Now, we're not totally going freezing rain. We're not totally going sleet. We're not totally going snow. I mean, this is going to be like very hit or miss just because we are going to be tracking such a elevated and risk for the temperatures. The temperatures tomorrow are just going to be all over the place. So we're just going with that wintry mix. We're not calling it, we're also not expecting really like accumulations out towards the hill country. So here's a look at 5:30 a.m. for Texas. As we move into the bulk of the morning, here's a look at 9 a.m. You can see that we do have the potential kind of moving into the hill country, Mason, Llano, in Gillespie County, seeing that mix of rain as well as a wintry mix. So it's going to be potentially a little bit slippery out there. That's what we want to let people know. But if you look up towards Dallas, they are expecting the widespread snow, at least for a good portion of the morning as the sun rises at 9 a.m. And then as we head through the day, let's go look at noon for tomorrow. So this is why we just wanted to discourage anybody going to the Cotton Bowl early tomorrow. The best time to get out of town, to get to Dallas, is going to be today, early enough that you aren't dealing with really issues on the roadways, because the roadways are fine right now. It's just when you wake up on Friday morning, if you're headed to Dallas, I'm just not totally sure if the roadways are going to be cleared up enough or dried off enough, especially up towards Dallas. Dallas or kind of north of that Waco area, because you can see just how thick of a line of snow and then potential for wintry precipitation and ice goes all the way down into that Waco area. And then of course we're still tracking it out towards the hill country of our area. So 12 p.m. Thursday, it's just not going to be a great time to be on the roads. I mean, Texans, it's not exactly about you driving, it's about the other people around you. You just can't trust it. So not going to encourage traveling on the roadways tomorrow. And I do think if you've got flights, incoming or outgoing tomorrow, especially for the afternoon and evening, we could see some slight delays there just because the rain in our area, could be enough to cause some delays. So let's move a little bit more forward into about 5 p.m. tomorrow afternoon. You can see that we are dealing with widespread rain across Austin and even potentially heavy rain. Now, I do think this is going to reduce some visibilities across the roadways, and just look how wide of a stretch that is. That goes all the way from San Angelo through Houston and all the way through East Texas and even down towards Corpus Christi. This is going to be a big wash of rain, and this is going to be great for us here in Austin because we're seeing extreme drought the past couple of weeks. So I think that will help ease things up just a little bit. We're expecting about a widespread 1 to maybe even up to 3 inches in some spots. So that's good news for our drought. But of course, we'll be tracking the potential for some of that more slippery precipitation out towards the hill country. Now by 5 p.m., it's looking a lot better. It's looking like mostly just a cold rain for our area. And then as we head up towards Dallas, you'll see that potential for that wintry mix and even some snow still ongoing to the north of Dallas there. So that's even through 5 p.m. We've gone from 5 a.m. to 5 p.m. not letting up at all. This system is going to be moving pretty slowly. And then we head into 9 p.m. We're still dealing with rain all across Austin, and Dallas is still dealing with snow and dealing with the potential for wintry precip. It's not until very early on Friday morning that this is all going to wash out to the east of us. Houston will be the one dealing with this on Friday morning, but thankfully they're not dealing with any of the snow or anything. They're just going to be dealing with the potential for rain, and very heavy rain that is. I do think maybe we could see some thunderstorms in Louisiana as we head towards Friday too, so that will be very interesting. All right, so there was a look at Texas as a whole. So again, all throughout Thursday, just not a great time to be on the roads, even though we are just expecting that rain here in Austin. Obviously, up to the north of us in Waco and Dallas, those conditions are just going to be quite messy. I mean, the city tends to shut down during these types of events. So I think that is the type of condition we are expecting for Dallas and potentially for areas near Waco as well. So best thing you can do tomorrow, stay home, work from home if you can. It's going to be a really, really gross day outside, especially for us here in Austin. All right, let's go through today's forecast into tomorrow. You can see already this morning we were seeing a lot of clouds out there. Let's look out towards Austin right now. You can see those low level clouds, those stratus clouds. Again, if this were a normal day and it was like 50 degrees outside, we'd probably be experiencing some drizzle this morning. But because it was so cold this morning, a couple of us saw those snow flurries out there. Let's take another vantage point. Here's a look at downtown Austin. You can still, see people getting out and about for today. Again, if you're headed up to that Cotton Bowl for Friday, I would leave today or Friday morning. But again, Friday morning is going to be a little bit of guesswork just because I'm not sure exactly how those roads are going to look up towards Dallas. It's going to be interesting. All right, so let's head into our Wednesday afternoon. We could see a couple of breaks of sunshine for this afternoon. Not totally 100% on that, but it's mostly going to be cloud cover that we deal with for the day today. Temperatures getting up into the lower to even mid 40s. And then as we head late into tonight, this is already 1 a.m. We're not really seeing much on the map. It's going to take probably until 3, 4, 5 a.m. for us to see really any precipitation here towards central Texas. And again, that's going to begin in the hill country. As you can see, we've got that rain incoming. Temperatures are going to stay a little bit lifted, at least for the very early hours of Thursday morning. So I don't think we'll be tracking any major wintry mix out there for at least the start of the morning, but you'll see that temperatures are not going to be able to get back up where they need to be as we head towards like 9, 10 a.m. They're actually going to be falling and staying lower. So we will have that potential for freezing rain, maybe some sleet out there in the hill country. You can see that right there for Fredericksburg as we head toward 9:30 in the morning tomorrow. 34 degrees, so just above freezing there. And then you can also see 34 for Mason too. So it's going to be very hour by hour, us just kind of checking in on things, getting some ground observations from our friends out there. But the rest of us are just going to be seeing some light rain for the morning half of tomorrow. Now, after we head towards about noon, things are going to get a little bit different with the forecast. Until noon, let's head towards 12 p.m. You can see that our temperatures out towards the hill country are not really budging too much. They will be elevated above freezing, it looks like, for this current update of the model, but some models have us staying around 33, 32 degrees, and in that case, that could lead to some pretty slippery conditions out there. So it's going to be a little bit hit or miss as we head through the day. Now, after 12 p.m., that's when we get that little nose of kind of warm air that's going to warm us up for the rest of the afternoon and the evening and lead us into our very rainy night across Austin. So here, let's head into about 3 p.m. You'll see temperatures are starting to lift up towards Johnson City as well as Lago Vista, around 35, 36 degrees. And then heading into about 5 p.m., most of us should be elevated enough. Those temperatures, I mean, they should be elevated enough area-wide to just be leading to a widespread rain across the area. Also, when rain falls, it creates a lot of friction and it tends to warm up the air around it. So I do think we'll probably be seeing most areas at least at 36 degrees or above, which of course would just lead to rain. But look at some of this rain out there. All the yellow stretches there, those are kind of heavier bands that are going to be moving through the area. This goes from about 3 p.m. tomorrow all the way into midnight tomorrow night. Oh, I went too far there. You can see at 11 p.m. we're still seeing a drenching rain out there in the coastal plains for Fayette County to areas like LaGrange and Lee County and even Milam County. So a big soaking rain for 3 p.m. onward for tomorrow. It's going to be kind of that first half of the day on Thursday where we're going to be watching the hill country for potentially slick conditions. We're not expecting major accumulations on any of these roadways. We're going to mostly be watching those elevated surfaces, so any bridges or overpasses, those would be the first to freeze if there is a freeze. And again, we're just not seeing temperatures low enough to be cause for that. All right, let's head into the 7-day forecast, because things are looking much better after Thursday. Thursday is our only day where we have our weather impact alert today in place. Again, this has been shrunk down to just Thursday. Originally, we were watching Wednesday night, we were watching Friday morning, but this is just going to be for Thursday. And yes, again, we have a 90 to 100% chance that you're going to see some sort of precipitation for the day tomorrow. Cold rain is expected for most of us, but again, the hill country, we're going to be watching for the potential of a wintry mix out there in just isolated places. Not expected to be widespread. We're not expecting any significant accumulations on the roadways once again. Heading into this weekend, we're going to get another kind of push of that cooler air. I think, after we see a lot of this rain kind of moving out, the cold air behind the rain could lead to a couple of fun little flurries of snowfall for early Friday morning. I mean, like 2 a.m. on Friday. So that could be fun for some of us, but for the rest of the day on Friday, we're going to be dealing with cloudy, very breezy weather. Again, if you're headed to the Cotton Bowl on Friday for, kickoff is about 6:30 p.m. Again, while we're dealing with this rain on Thursday, Dallas is going to be dealing with stretches of snowfall as well as ice accumulation. So the roadways on Friday are not going to be totally open and good to go. If you are headed up there, you just can't count on it. So I would say if you are going to the Cotton Bowl, best time to leave would be sometime today or even tonight, because we're not even expecting real precipitation in our area until probably like 2 a.m. tomorrow morning. So best best time to be traveling is going to be Wednesday. Thursday, just not a great day for weather across really any stretch of Texas, all the way from San Antonio to Austin to Dallas to Waco, and even out towards Houston. Also going to be dealing with our drenching rain for tomorrow. So Friday, we cool things off, we dry things out. We're going to deal with still some clouds, but this weekend looks really, really nice. We'll be up towards about 60 degrees. So not the warmest weekend, obviously, in Texas, but it's still January after all. Mostly sunny conditions there. And then Monday and Tuesday, we're still dealing with temperatures in the 50s. So below average technically, but yeah, just not too bad. Definitely not like what we're dealing with for tomorrow. All right, the time is 9:55, so I'm just gonna hit a couple of major things for our area and get you guys back to the rest of our KVU Plus stream. So here's a look at that winter weather potential. If you didn't hear me otherwise, the winter mix potential or possibility, I keep saying this morning, it's not probable, it's possible. So possible that you could see a wintry mix if you're living out in the hill country. Again, that pink line just stretches right into those western areas of Travis, Williamson, and Hayes County. You know, we just can't rule out the possibility of maybe a stray piece of sleet, you know, hitting your car, but mostly that chilly rain is what's going to be affecting the metro for tomorrow. And again, we're not expecting significant icing or major travel disruptions, minor travel disruptions, or of course, because we are watching for a wintry mix out there in the hill country, it's possible that some of our bridges or overpasses could see a little bit of freezing accumulation. But of course, this is just not going to be a widespread issue. It's going to be very isolated in certain places that are able to see that cool down, just like very, very minor stretches of enough freezing weather out there. All right, and then so our travel impacts are going to be very minor, especially for the I-35 corridor. Now, I do think that some of our rain for Thursday night or evening into night is going to be heavy enough that it will cause some visibility issues out there. I know Texans not great at driving in the rain already, so I do have, you know, just I'm a little worried about that for some of us, but I think in general it will be fine. And also, you know, if visibilities are bad, the rain is pretty heavy, it will take a little while longer for any crashes or things like that to, you know, to be cleared up. So traffic could become an issue in certain spots, could be slow in certain spots if that does end up happening for tomorrow. But out there towards the hill country, we have a moderate travel impact in place just because of that risk for maybe some slippery conditions. And again, that's mostly going to be for our Thursday morning, and then we wash things out for our Thursday afternoon and evening with that rain. So let's take one more look across the map hour by hour. For tomorrow, we'll start off pretty early in the day. I gotta find it again. Okay, here we go. Early in the day, we'll start to track the potential for some precipitation in our area. Let's move all the way, 7:30, 7 a.m. on Thursday. You can see that light precipitation out there in the hill country, but our temperatures are not going to fall down near that freezing range until a little bit later on Thursday morning. So let's move into 9:30, 10 a.m. You can see those temperatures starting to drop. Fredericksburg, Johnson City, Mason County. Those are the areas we'll be watching for the potential for some wintry mix out there. Again, not expecting major accumulations on the roads, but if you are traveling tomorrow, I would say, your best bet is just to remain vigilant and, of course, not distracted while you're driving, because you just never know with these types of things. And of course, black ice, you can't even see it. So as we're heading into Thursday, around noontime, you'll see that those temperatures in the hill country are still remaining in that lower stretch of the 30s. So 34 in Mason, 34 in Fredericksburg, and getting up to about 35 degrees for Blanco, Johnson City, areas like Lago Vista too. So starting to warm, just not enough for us to completely take out the risk for the wintry precipitation. Now heading towards about 3, 4, and 5 p.m., that's when we make the switch over to just widespread rain across the area, and it could even be dwindling those visibilities at times. So headed home from work on Thursday, just make sure that you are attentive out there, you're not distracting yourself while driving, because I think it could get a little bit iffy in some places, because this heavy rain is going to go all the way into our Thursday night, and we're not expecting expected to dry things out until after midnight that night. So you'll see out there in the hill country, as this kind of moves on out of here, we could see the potential for a couple of snow showers as it kind of moves out, but not likely that we'll see any accumulations with that or anything. So by about 3 a.m. on Friday, that's when we see much drier conditions, but of course it is going to remain cloudy on Friday. And we'll also see some breezy conditions as well. All right, so that's kind of my spiel for this morning. 10 a.m. now, of course, we'll have some more updates and we'll just go through the forecast once again for you guys as we head into midday today. Again, our midday show starts at 11 a.m. here on KView.